So if I signed up with StoneX today, what would that look like to me? What would be the touch points over the next, say we said one crop year? Where would we start? Where would we touch base during the middle, and where would we end up?
Yeah, that's I talk about us being the most robust crop marketing service in Canada. That's a great question. I think to begin with, we really are sort of hitting the ground running. Those first few weeks of our relationship is really about a lot of dialogue, us understanding your business, and coming up with that risk management plan for the year. Throughout the year, it's constant communication. So whether that's a scheduled call or just, every few weeks sort of touching base type of thing between anyone involved in the crop marketing decisions in the farm and your StoneX consultant, making sure we're kind of on point with our plan, and if our plan needs to be adjusted in any way and all of that. So it's very consistent dialogue. In addition to that, we have a software platform that we use to help us manage our physical positions, track our expenses and margin and that type of thing. It's called My Farm Manager. And then we also offer a lot of education. I think is just a huge component of the market side of this business, whether you're talking education on the different tools available or market information, that type of thing. So we do a monthly webinar that's more focused on a market update. And so in that, we look at what's going on globally, what we're seeing locally, and then we always bring in if there's anything really exciting to look at on the cash brokerage side of things. And then we also do twice a year, we do workshops across the prairies. Basically, we go on a big tour of all the hot spots in Western Canada in the really warm months like November and March. And they're small group workshops. We love doing them. They've become a really important part of the service that we're offering. So they're small groups. We do, it gives us a chance to do a one-on-one meeting with the producers that come to them, as well as a half-day workshop that'll be kind of whatever is front of mind for the time. So there's always market updates in those, but also some different hedge strategies we're looking at, different financial positions we could be looking at, and the like. So they're pretty in-depth workshops, and that we've had just great success with them. So it's a lot of touch points throughout the year. The big thing is to reach out to us as often as possible, and we all really encourage our producers to do that. I think partly because we're Canadian, we don't want to bother anybody. So I'm always telling people, like, the more you talk to me, the better.
StoneX has been around for 120 years. You guys have expertise in all kinds of commodities. One guy I follow on social media is Josh Linville. That's another example of the advice that StoneX could provide too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Josh is great. He's been really had a strong presence on social media and stuff, and someone that's really brought the StoneX name a lot more recognition in Canada, because this year with fertilizer prices, what he's doing and is just so relevant for so many producers across the globe. And so so Josh, he's one of the VPs with our fertilizer group out of Kansas City, I believe. And I think that's an interesting point. Just we do touch virtually every commodity through StoneX. And so this year, those fertilizer prices happen to be so relevant, and we're really able to leverage Josh and his team to bring more value to producers we work with in Canada. Another thing we're looking at this year, which is just kind of something we're reacting to because there's demand for it and interest for it, but the diesel hedging side of things. So it's not perfectly easy to hedge both diesel and fertilizer, but our market intelligence on those has been really valuable that we can bring to our clientele, and we're working on different strategies to try and manage those in some way, and that's something that only we're able to do because we have such a footprint in all of these commodities.
Yeah, that kind of stuff really excites me when we talk about a company that's in agriculture that encompasses not just grain, but we talk about inputs like diesel and fertilizer, yeah, that route would be great to go down.
Yeah, the volatility in these markets is wild. I think, typically we focused on the grain pricing side of it to reduce volatility, but this is one where the inputs are front of mind. There's no doubt.
And there's definitely tools to hedge a lot of our inputs, but it's sure nice to be able to, or it sure would be nice to be able to go to one spot and do it all.
Yeah, and I think understanding those markets and understanding how to use those tools is a big piece of it, because like diesel is an interesting one where it's not something that we might look at every year. We're looking at it this year because it's so bizarre. So our clientele, we certainly can't expect them to be experts in that market, and that's where we can come in and help them enter something or use tools that they would otherwise feel like they don't have access to, or don't feel like they could have the knowledge base to use them.
It's pretty exciting, the products that StoneX is offering, and being involved in almost every commodity. There could be a lot of stuff going on. How would we keep track of all of this?
So we don't use the old shoebox way. My farm manager. So everything right from the day that you sign up, everything gets entered into the My Farm Manager. All of your inputs, everything. That's how your margins are created. That's how each and every day you know exactly where you sit. That's where you feel confident in all your sales that you're making. Everything is tracked. You can analyze everything. Each and every individual field is broken into different pieces. It's just a really, really awesome system. And it's not something that you need to be scared of. Your no risk advisor will help you get everything entered in there and kind of walk you through the steps as you go. And if you're not comfortable with it, all you have to do is let them know where you're at. We'll do all the entering into the system for you.
No, I love that. Easy is what farmers want sometimes, and to make it easy is a value to me.
And it's just nice to know that you could just pop a screen open and know exactly where you sit at all times.
Totally. I agree 100%.